Hi everyone, so I'm back, and this video is about exercise 12 from your page 47 from the textbook. So let's see. In letter A, we have 322 and we have to take away 47. Now, what I'm about to do is a little bit different than what I did the previous video, the last video, and you're gonna see why. So I have 322 and I have to take away 47, right? So I'm gonna start in my hundreds place. So I have 3 and I don't have to take away anything. So I'm just going to write that 3. And because it's in my hundreds place, I'm going to write those 2 zeros. So it's going to be 300. Now, if I look at my tens place, I have 2 and I have to take away 4. Obviously, I can't do that because I don't have enough. So remember what I said that I was going to leave it for last? So I'm going to leave this for last. So let's jump to the digits in my ones place. I have 2 and I have to take away 7. Can I do that? No, I cannot because I only have 2. I can't take away 7 from a 2. So I have to borrow I have to borrow in my ones place and I have to borrow in my tens place, right? In both of them, I would have to borrow. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna focus, in the digits in my tens place. Because remember what I said that you're gonna leave what you owe for last. So if you have to regroup, leave it for last. Right now, this is all I have left. So I'm just going to go back to the digits in my tens place. So if I have 2 and I have to get to 4, how much do I need? I still need 2. And because I'm in my tens place, I'm going to write that 2 in the tens place. A 2 in the tens place is actually a 20. Remember that. So if you're in the tens place, all you would have to do is add that 0 and you're good. So a 2 in the tens place is actually a 20. Now I'm going to subtract. Instead of adding, I'm going to subtract. So if I have 300 and I have to subtract 20, how much is that? 0 minus 0 is 0. I can't subtract 2 from a 0. I would have to borrow. So he's no longer going to be 3. He's going to be a 2. He's no longer going to be a 0. He's going to be a 10. Now I can subtract. So if I have 10 and I take away 2, I'm going to be left with 8. And then I'm going to drop that 2. So far, I have 280. I'm not done. I need to go back to the digits in my ones place. So if I have 2 and I need to get to 7, how much do I need? I'm going to need 5 more digits, right? And I'm going to subtract. So, can I subtract 5 from a 0? Nope, I don't have enough, which means that I would have to borrow. So, he's no longer going to be 8, he's going to be 7. He's no longer going to be a 0, he's going to be a 10. So, if I have 10 and I take away 5, I'm going to be left with 5, and I'm going to drop that 7 and that 2. So, the total answer is 275. Let me write this 2 a little bit better. There you go, 275. So in this case, I subtracted all the way down from starting with the exercise all the way to ending the exercise. I subtracted. What we did before this video, we subtracted, then we added, and then we subtracted. In this case, I'm not going to do this. In this case, I'm just going to subtract everything. Now, how do you know? When do I have to subtract everything? You would have to subtract everything when you're faced with an exercise like this. So in the hundreds place, you're good to go. You can do that subtraction. But in the tens and in the ones, you would have to borrow. So when you have to borrow in the tens and in the ones place, all you're going to do is subtract everything. Okay? So let's do letter B. We have 430 and we have to subtract 55. So in my 4, do I have to take away something? Nope. I'm going to drop that 4. It's still going to be a 400. Now, I have 3 and I have to take away 5. I can't do that. If I look at my ones place, I have 0. I have to take away 5. I can't do that either. In both of them, I would have to borrow. So I'm just going to go back to my tens place and subtract everything starting from here. So if I have 3, how much do I need in order to get to 5? Let's see. If I have 3, how much do I need in order to get to 5? I'm going to need 2 more. It's in my tens place. I'm going to write that 0. It's actually going to be a 20. Now I'm going to subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. I cannot take away 2 from a 0, so I would have to borrow. This would be a 10 and this would be a 3. Now the total here is going to be what? If I have 10 and I take away 2, I'm going to be left with 8, and then I'm going to drop that 3. I'm not done. I still need to do the digits in my ones place. So if I have 0, how much do I need in order to get to 5? I still need 5 digits, right? I'm going to subtract. Now I need to borrow. He's going to be a 7 and he's going to be a 10. Let me write this a little bit better. So if I have 10 and I have to take away 7, if I have 10 and I have to take away 5, the answer is going to be 5. And now I get to drop that 7 and I get to drop that 3. So the answer is 375. Let's do letter C. 631 minus 78. 6 minus nothing, it's still 6. It's in my hundreds place, so I'm going to write those 2 zeros. And if I look at the digits in my tens place, I have 3 and I have to subtract 7. I can't do that subtraction because I would have to borrow. So if I look at the digits in my ones place, which is 1 and 8, I have 1, I have to subtract 8. I can't do that either because I would have to borrow. So I'm at the end of my line here. So I'm just going to go back to my tens place and I'm just going to subtract everything. If I have 3, and I have to get to 7, how much do I need? How many digits do I need in order to get to 7? And I already have 3. I'm going to need 4, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to need 4 digits. I'm going to write that in my tens place. And a 4 in the tens place is a 40. Now I'm going to subtract. 0 minus 0 is 0. I cannot subtract 4 from a 0, so I would have to borrow. So he is going to be a 5, not a 6, and he's going to be a 10, not a 0. So if I have 10 and I take away 4, how much do I need? How much do I have left? If I have 10 and I take away 4, I'm going to be left with 6. I'm going to drop that 5. So far, I have 560. Let me write that 0 a little bit better. Okay, so far I have 560, but I'm not done because remember, I still need to do the digits in my ones place. So if I have 1 and I need to get to 8, how much do I need? 7, right? Now I get to subtract once again. So I need to borrow in this case, right? So he's going to be a 5 and this guy is going to be a 10. So if I have 10 and I take away 7, I'm going to be left with 3. And now I'm going to drop that 5 and drop that 5. And the answer is 553. So again, when do I know how to do this? When do I know that I need to subtract everything? When your tens and your ones, you need to borrow. So if in your hundreds place, you're good to go. You can do that subtraction. But you see that in the tens place, you need to borrow. You see that in the ones place, you need to borrow. Okay, well, then that means that you need to go to this method subtract, subtract, subtract. You see? I'm gonna circle it for you. So you subtracted, and you subtracted. Same thing for exercise B, and same thing happened for exercise A. You see? That's what you're going to do.